I cautiously approached the decrepit house, clutching the mop tightly in my trembling hand. The air hung heavy with an unsettling stillness, broken only by the creaking of the ancient wooden floors beneath my feet. The windows, obscured by layers of grime, seemed to stare back at me like hollow eyes. As I ventured deeper into the dimly lit interior, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. The walls bore witness to years of neglect, their once vibrant colors faded into a sickly, moldy hue. Cobwebs clung to the corners of the ceiling, swaying gently in a phantom breeze. My heart pounded in my chest as I reached the first room, a disheveled living area frozen in time. A cold breeze swept through the room, causing the tattered curtains to sway ominously. I forced myself to focus on the task at hand and began to sweep the dust and debris into a dustpan. That's when I heard it, a faint, echoing whisper that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. I froze, mop in hand, straining to make out the words. It was as though the house itself was trying to communicate with me, but the words remained elusive, lost in a sea of eerie murmurs. Shivers ran down my spine as I continued to clean, my every movement met with a sinister resistance. The mop handle seemed to twitch in my grip, as though it had a mind of its own. I tried to dismiss it as my imagination, but the unease in the pit of my stomach grew. Moving to the kitchen, I found a sink overflowing with murky water, dishes coated in layers of mold and decay. I swallowed hard and turned on the tap, only to be greeted by a sudden torrent of blood-red water. Panic surged through me, and I stumbled back, dropping the mop. The walls seemed to close in on me as I made my way up the creaking staircase, each step groaning in protest. The upstairs hallway was lined with a series of locked doors, their handles rusted shut. I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked behind them, something that had been trapped for far too long. I approached the final room, my heart pounding in my ears. The door was ajar, revealing a pitch-black void within. I hesitated for a moment before pushing it open, revealing a room bathed in an otherworldly glow. In the center of the room, a spectral figure hovered, its eyes hollow and vacant. I couldn't tear my gaze away as the figure slowly turned to face me, its lips parting to emit a blood-curdling scream that seemed to reverberate through my very soul. I stumbled back, falling to the floor in a frenzy of fear. The room began to twist and contort, the walls closing in on me as though they were alive. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on grotesque forms that seemed to mock my terror. I crawled backward, desperate to escape the nightmare that had consumed the house. Just when I thought I couldn't take any more, I heard a voice, a real voice, calling my name. It was my friend, Mark, who had come to check on me after I failed to respond to his calls and texts. He burst through the front door, breaking the malevolent spell that had held me captive. As I stumbled out of the house, gasping for air, I glanced back one last time. The house now stood still and lifeless, as though it had never been anything more than a decrepit old building. But the memory of the horrors I had witnessed would haunt me forever, a chilling reminder that some places should never be cleaned, for they hide secrets too terrible to imagine.